So this morning, quite happy with one. It's going to be particularly challenging this morning because it's just got light. So it's 8 o'clock, and last night Storm beginning with Ikea something, blew in from the northwest, and overnight we've had some quite heavy rain and some quite strong winds. In some parts of the country the winds have been up to 90 miles an hour. Here in East Anglia it's been, I think, maybe 30 miles an hour, and the wind has dropped. We are inland. On the coast it's still 20-25 miles an hour, so that's going to produce some challenges when it comes to casting. But the thing that I'm particularly concerned about is that in a while the wind speeds are going to double. They're going to get up to 40 miles an hour or 50 miles an hour, and that is going to prove challenging fishing, particularly when you're fly fishing. If you were on a beach or a pier casting 6-ounce leads, it would be a challenge. When you're trying to cast little flies, even weighted ones, it's going to be a challenge. But I like a challenge. So maybe it's an additional challenge, maybe it's a benefit. I'm going to be fishing from a boat, and it's going to be quite a small boat, and it's going to have a flat bottom. And the thing about flat bottom boats and wind is that when the wind catches them, they just skate across the surface like a leaf on a pond. So I'm going to have to be quite careful handling the boat. I do have two strong anchors with a fair length of line, because sometimes when it's windy, I like really windy, one anchor, even with grapnels, won't hold in the mud, and the boat just slowly moves down the lake, which is the last thing you want when you want to stay in one place. So we have some challenges, but we also have, on the positive side, I have a mug of tea, and more importantly I have 2 slices of toast and Marmite. Now I appreciate Marmite isn't everyone's cup of tea, so I just mixed my metaphors there. You either love or hate it. I like it. Puts me in the zone. So I'm going to be wending my merry way to the fishing lake and contemplating whether I am completely mad or only slightly mad. But what I'm sure of is that once I get to the coast, the wind conditions are going to be a lot worse than they are here, and they're a bit windy here already. So as they say, I'll see you on the other side. It's quite windy now, so I better get my act together. I've got my tackle bag, I've got my camera bag, I need to put my boots on, put my big gilet on, get this show on the road. Let us go then, you and I. It's very wet underfoot, so we're going to have to be a little bit careful. I think it's coming from that direction, but it does look quite choppy. Gonna have to say it. There's a cormorant. Leave the fish alone. Gotta curb my impatience and make sure that I tackle up on the bank, because my instinct is to get out there and then try and tackle up in the boat, which takes twice as long. And I have been known to get out there and find I've left the rod or the tackle bag on the bank, which of course is massively frustrating and also a complete waste of time. And in we go. Don't forget to keep holding on to the boat as you step in, because you're not going to see it again otherwise. So the secret here is to get in and get to the outboard before the wind catches the boat and you end up goodness knows where. Right, we're heading out. Not to sea. Well, that's only a marginal panic. And I've just had a take and I have a fish on. So I'm pleased about that, because these are not nice weather conditions. The weather's turned. It's colder than I was expecting and colder than the weather forecast said, and it's also a lot windier. I'd imagine it's close to 30-mile-an-hour winds. We've got waves. I think it might be coming into the net now. Whoa! Fishes Maximus. Trout number one. Must stop saying number one. I might not catch another one. So the good news is I've caught a fish. The not so good news is that the wind has managed to tangle my line into the most incredible mess. And the also extra bad news is that I actually took the trouble of cleaning this line after I last used it, but because it's so wet and the bottom of the boat's covered in mud, and because I've got big boots on, I've ended up getting it all muddy again. Well, you've got to be on top of your game in this weather. Woof. The name of the game might actually be short cast rather than very long cast, because you don't really want all this line in the boat. Oh well. I've decided to move because the wind has changed direction slightly. It's picked up a lot and I'm just trying to get a little bit of shelter. So I'm just moving so I can get the angle right to fish where I want to fish. So I'm just going to drop the anchor here. Whoa. Phew. This is extreme fishing. Well, I've had one, so it was worth coming. How much more of this I can take, I don't know. Because it's just blowing the line, the leader, the boat, everywhere. Not to mention being rather cold. This is getting quite interesting now. As you can see, the weather is proper rough. This is only a small lake, it's not the sea, it's not a massive reservoir. It's a relatively small lake, and Storm Isha is coming in with a vengeance. Well, what do you know? There's nothing like hooking a fish to make you decide that actually you were wrong to even think of leaving. And there's fish around. Here's a feisty one. It's running. The funny thing was, I didn't realise I had it on. I thought I just got a bit of weed and there was a bit of a dead weight. But I think what had happened was the wind had blown the line round in a loop and it was straightening it out. So I could feel a weight, but it wasn't actually directly connected to the fish at that point. Right. Whoa. Over this side now, are we? Fish net, net fish. It very obligingly flew, swam right into the net, and we have a lovely trout with my fly in its mouth. Happy days. So there we have the little goldhead damsel, goldhead Montana, just in the corner of the mouth. Well, I thought this was going to be sheltered. But I've just looked at my watch, it's 11 o'clock, and that's when the winds are said to go up to 40 miles an hour, and they're certainly up there. I think again I'm going to give it a little while, and if I've had no bites or fish, I think I'm not enjoying this very much. Let's see how we get on. Right. The wind is really getting up. I've got 2 anchors out and I'm being blown into a corner here. And if I don't get out of here quickly, I'm going to be in trouble. I'm going to be pinned against a bit of bank where nobody can see me, and I'm nowhere near the shore, so I'm going to have to motor. A bit of a problem here. The wind is so windy. The outboard's going full pelt, and I'm not really going anywhere. Well, if I am, I'm going very, very slowly. Yeah, I think I'm going very, very slowly. Well, I got out somehow. I was completely pinned. Thought I'd broken the rod and everything. Don't think I have. Right, let's set sail for sunnier climes. Whew. Where'd that island come from? Sorry, swans, my bad. My bad, sorry. Sorry, swans. Right, there's madness and there's extreme madness. I've got 2 anchors out and I'm still drifting. I'm casting and then the line looks like it's coming back to me, but what's happening is it's the boat is drifting down on it. I've got spray coming over the boat. I'm going to give it, well, I'm drifting down to where I'm going to end up taking the boat out of the water, so I could just simply drift down and cast as I go, which is I think what I'm going to do. There was a time when they used to have an advert for Hamlet. This is the kind of time you want to have a cup of tea and just contemplate what is going on here. Right, we're getting out of dodge right now. Even holding the rod vertical with the wind on it was an effort. So I'm being blown down the lake rapidly and I've just got to try and make that turn before I hit the bank. Going to be touch and go. Got to get in there. Oh. It should be okay once I get in. Whoa! We're in. We're in. Right. We're in. Well, the boat's safely tucked away. I'm safely tucked away in the car. And I can still hear the wind whistling in the trees. Made it back alive. And I don't think I've ever fished in such windy conditions ever. I've got a powerful outboard and normally it makes headway in any conditions, but not today, not in that corner. I got well and truly stuck, pinned against a bank of trees and bushes, and the tip of the rod and the line got caught, so that even when I was trying to row off, I'd got the line caught, so I had to go back again and undo it. But one for the memory books for sure. 2 trout, both caught on a black Montana gold head. I saw a few other people fishing, but there's no shelter anywhere, and I didn't see anyone catch any fish apart from me. Well, another day, another dollar.